Trust me, this is the number one missing piece to your YouTube growth and being able to scale your revenue for your business. And I'm not gonna hide it from you. It's fostering a community. That is the number one missing piece that a lot of YouTubers completely fail on because they are focusing on trying to get a viral video. Well, I'm here to tell you that is not your priority. You should not be focusing on getting as many views as possible. You should be focusing on your community because they are the ones who are going to actually give you that revenue. Yes, virality is amazing. Yes, virality can give you more exposure and give you more subscribers. But if you're just focusing on what is viral, then you're going to, first of all, burn yourself out because you're going to be focused on what other people are doing that's viral and how you can make your own take on it. Probably you're not naturally gifted at, which is okay. And also, you're going to be completely deterring away from the audience that you should be focused on building because maybe your audience isn't so big right now, but you want to make sure that as you are building an audience that you are focusing on people who would actually want to hear from you, people who actually love you no matter what. It doesn't matter if you're focusing on doing trends or not. They're going to like you for who you are. And why am I stressing on this so much? Well, mostly because as you probably have noticed, there's a lot of saturation out on videos on all social platforms. Like everybody's doing it. So of course there's TikTok, there's Instagram Reels, there's YouTube, long form and shorts. There's also LinkedIn who's also trying to push some video content now. Like everybody's focused on video content. And so it's become so saturated that the viewer is being more selective on who they're deciding to subscribe to or not. I know I do this for myself. Before I decide to subscribe to somebody who I'm watching, I'm like, okay, well, are they as good as the other people that I like? Or do I need another person who talks about this one subject? There's people who are more selective. And so for them to actually want to choose you, you need to focus on fostering a community that is actually all in for you. There was that one book written a few years ago by Kevin Kelly, and he talks about how you just need 1,000 true fans to be able to make it to all of your profit goals. But it's actually a much smaller number these days. You don't need to have 1,000 followers. You don't need to have 1,000 subscribers. You can actually have a lesser number and still be able to make thousands and thousands, even six-figure, seven-figure numbers. So it's okay to just focus on one community. And so let me show you how you can do this in 5 simple ways. The first way, you really need to define your target audience because if you're making videos who you think is for a general type of audience, but you're not too sure exactly for who, then you're going to be making a lot of content that's a little bit more broad and maybe it's not going to be speaking to a direct audience. In turn, there's going to be people who are like, oh, I kind of like this person, but they kind of talk about random things that I'm not really into as much. So they're going to swipe past you and go on to the next person. Whereas if you actually define who exactly your videos are targeting, then you are going to attract that group of people. It's as easy as that. I'll give you an example for my own experience. I, for a long time, was struggling to define my audience for my English channel. A big reason is because, yes, there's a lot of English teachers out there. I understand that. But also, I know that I am not really trying to get beginner level. That's not kind of my goal. I knew that I kind of wanted to attract intermediate to advanced learners. However, that's still too broad. And in turn, I was making a lot of content that was like, okay, you should know this if you want to be advanced. But there's just so many different angles you can take on that. So in turn, even though I thought I was being really niche, I wasn't because I was just being really confusing and making content across the board. And so I decided to actually focus on professionals. So now I have a better idea of who my audience is. I want them to be in the mid-20s to maybe 40s range, professional people, people who want to develop English skills for business. So now I know that is my target audience. And since I have been making content focusing on that and focusing on those professionals to be more fluent and being able to speak more like a native English speaker, holy cow, like I've been attracting a much bigger audience. And so you should be able to do that yourself. Try to figure out what audience you want to target and start making content focusing for that targeted audience. It's really a matter of reverse engineer if you think about it. Understand who the demographic is that you're trying to target and then ask yourself the question, what are their problems? What kind of hurdles are they going to face? What are the answers to their problems? And then deliver that that to them. You really have to think of it from the viewer's perspective to be able to push the valuable content that they are looking for. So really define your target audience. The second thing you need to do to really foster a community is that you need to provide valuable consistency. Now, frequency is not the name of the game. Yes, we've talked about doing some blitzes that really helps boost up views really quickly. We've talked about that in our own video. Marissa made a video on it. But the idea is not only to just focus on getting a video out every single day. That's not the only idea. You need to make sure that that consistency is also the value that you're giving, the branding that you have, that style of video that they're expecting. That kind of consistency is what people like. When they see a video from you and they know that they like you already, they're going to click on that video because of the consistency in value, quality, all of the things. They know what to expect when they click on your video. If they click on their video and it's something like kind of off, then of course they're not going to be so into it, and maybe they'll even unsubscribe or maybe move past you, that kind of thing. If you're providing consistent value, consistent material, then that kind of attracts your ideal client. That attracts your ideal target audience that we talked about in the first bit there. So really focus on not just consistent frequency, but consistent value and quality. You're not only going to build the trust and loyalty, but you'll probably also gain a lot of people who are willing to buy from you. All right, the next thing you really need to do to really make sure that you can foster a community is to actively participate with your audience members. So that can be as simple as polling them on your community tab. That can be as simple as asking them, hey, what kind of content do you want from me? Starting discussions, starting any kind of topic that people will be like, hey, I want to put my 2 cents in, because that's really going to help people realize that, oh, this is a safe space for me to communicate, for me to share my own ideas, for me to talk with this creator that I really love. And that's going to already give a sense of community because they're going to feel validated, they're going to feel heard, they're going to feel like that is their safe space. And so that is something you should really focus on, is asking questions, doing calls to actions, making sure they're hearing from your audience, because that also helps you understand what kind of content you should be making for that audience. All right, number 4 thing is to really make sure that you are doing email marketing. Like, email marketing back in the day was like killing it. And guess what? It's still killing it. You need to focus on email marketing. You need to make sure that you have a list, a building list that you are talking to regularly, that you are communicating through. Why? Because that list is yours forever. That list will always be yours. Whereas like YouTube can die right now, or even Instagram, TikTok, any social platform is not yours. So you want to make sure that if anything were to happen on any of these platforms where your business is thriving, that you have a list where you can share with people, okay, this is what happened. Like when Marissa got hacked and deleted, she had her list where she was like, hey, I got hacked and deleted. This is what's going on. But it's saved her business just having that list because people knew what was going on. They knew where to find her again. Email marketing is not as hard as it sounds. It sounds daunting. It sounds exhausting. It sounds like a learning curve. But trust me, once you have it nailed, then it's easy to keep doing. A lot of it can be automated. And so for example, having a lead magnet, which if you don't have one, you should probably have one. Having a lead magnet is usually like a freebie, like here's the first 2 chapters of my book for free for you. You can access it if you give me your emails. Once they give you their email, then they can have that little freebie. And then from there, they're going to be hooked on you because you're going to have an automated sequence saying like, okay, on the first day, oh my gosh, thanks so much for being here. The next day, oh, here's my story. The next day, oh, let me tell you about this one client I had. You're nurturing that audience. You're nurturing that one person. And eventually they're going to be like, either, okay, I don't really like emails from this person, fair. Or they're going to say, oh my gosh, I really like this person even more than I thought when I subscribed to them. So it's really important to really nurture and foster your audience through email. So if you haven't started an email marketing or email automation system, start doing that. Maybe start learning that right now. And now, if you remember at the beginning of this video, I was telling you, hey, you don't need more than 1,000 subscribers to just make big money, 6 figures or 7-figure income months, maybe. And that's really because people who have smaller audiences are able to have lots of different income streams. It's normal. You can do affiliate marketing as an income stream. You can also make your own products. You can also sell merchandise. You can also have memberships. There are so many ways that you can build lots of income really quickly. It's just a matter of diversifying your income streams. I've made an entire video about this, and so I will add that to the top here if you want to take a look at different ways you can add income streams. But really focus on those income streams, but especially for a smaller audience, because maybe they don't want to buy a book from you, but maybe they'll join your monthly membership. Or maybe you have someone who will buy everything from you because they're just such a great fan. There's so many different things to look at. There are lots of YouTubers that even have mini courses about something. And so those courses that they make, maybe they'll give like little bundle deals or little sales here and there that they can sell even more because they have so many different mini courses that together can be a lot of money for them. So there's just so many ways to make lots of money with your own products. And when you have such a fostered community that loves you, they are going to buy it. And just imagine all those products that you create will be sold consistently because they love you so much, because you've created such an amazing community. That is the missing piece of a lot of YouTubers to be able to scale and make a lot of money. Now, if you're wondering what other things you need to know to really make big profits on YouTube, check out these really common mistakes that a lot of YouTubers make. I really focused on small creators, but honestly, all creators can learn from this. So check this out right over here. It's the mistakes that you should probably stop doing now. These are some of the most common mistakes that small creators make all the time. So when you were probably starting YouTube, you probably had this maybe vision that